Hi, Anna. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So, this is Speak Up, but we're doing it a bit differently this time, and it's for breast cancer awareness. So, thank you so much for coming.
I'm really aware about breast cancer right now. Yeah.
So while we do it, we thought, let's have a little bit of a girly sit down and chat. But while we paint some vases, have you done this before?
I've done painted some plates. I think that's it, and I'm not very creative. Actually, no. I painted a whiskey bottle last year, and it wasn't very good. I mean, I tried to gift it to my dad, and it's still in a box. So
okay, so let's hope this one goes a bit better. We know you from being at the Charity Film Awards, but what do you do?
So I work as head of social for a magazine, for Hello Magazine. So I've always worked in the media. Lived in London for 10 years, had a pretty fun life, I was always on press trips, I was always at parties. That's obviously all about to change, which is pretty huge.
Would you be able to tell us about your diagnosis story?
Yes, of course. So I was actually going to the GP for something else. I was actually going in for I noticed my hair had been falling out recently, and I totally, it's because of stress, because, look at the world around us, apart from the great work that you do.
Thank you.
And no, so I went to the GP, she was absolutely great. She really listened to what I had to say. And then at the end, it was and anything else? And I said, I've got this lump, would you mind having a look at it? And to begin with, because of my age, because I obviously seemed in pretty good health and pretty good spirits, it was a routine. Oh yeah, I can feel something there. It's probably just something, a fatty lump. This isn't uncommon, but we'll refer you. So I was feeling pretty chill about it.
Yeah.
I went on holiday with my parents. I hadn't told them about it because they would freak out. And then the following couple of Fridays later, I went to the hospital, once again in pretty good spirits. I was texting the group chat being great, I'll be in the hospital, I'll probably be finished by 5 so I can head straight to the pub. And when I first got there, the consultant was just so reassuring. You're young, it's probably nothing, etc., etc. So everything was still feeling pretty good. And then when I was when I was in front of the radiologist, and she was checking and asking me about my holidays, and I was telling her I'd been to Egypt and Mauritius this year, and then she went a bit quieter and looked a little bit concerned and was like, "Have you been poorly recently?" And I didn't really know why she was asking. And then she got a bit quieter, and she said, "We're just going to do a mammogram before we do some biopsies."
Yeah.
And there was she was so sweet, but there was none of that reassurance. It was it wasn't a mammogram just to, we just need to check something. Yeah. It was quite serious. When you're a child and the adults are talking and you know that it's bad.
Yeah.
So I went in for the mammograms, and then I had another one. And then she said, we're going to biopsy them. And she was still so kind, but I burst into tears, and there was none of that. But it's probably nothing. So obviously then I realised it was something more serious.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're taken through to the consultant, and that's when she did say, we're a lot more concerned than we originally were. And I was, I quickly asked her, is there a chance it could be nothing? And she said, that would be so unfair to say, because it clearly is something. And my first question was, will I need chemo? And she said, we can't rule anything out yet. And obviously 2 hours beforehand, I was planning to go to the pub, and all of that just came crashing down. Obviously lots and lots of tears. A couple of friends came over with some wine, some pizza. I cried even more. One of them was making really off-color jokes. One of them was being really reassuring. But yeah, it was pretty. I will never forget that day. It was pretty horrendous. But I think that's totally the worst part.
Yeah.
From everyone I spoke to that had a similar story or knew someone with a similar story, and in fact, our chief content officer, she'd gone through breast cancer about 12 years ago. She said, this is definitely the worst bit. You mean you're catastrophizing everything. You know you have cancer. You don't know how bad.
Yeah.
I hadn't told my parents yet because they were still on holiday. And, you know, in your head, you're Googling what this means. And it's saying, you know, your 5-year prognosis. And like I've got so many more than 5 years in me.
Yeah.
So that was a really, really rough time. But then a couple of weeks later, you get the full diagnosis picture where you kind of come to terms with pretty life-changing surgery and, you know, your treatment plan of chemo, radiotherapy, etc. So yeah, that's kind of how I found out. And it was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially because like the average age to get breast cancer is in like your late 60s, and you being 33, it's like
with no history in the family. Like my mum, both grandmas, my grandma's 6 sisters.
Yeah.
Like we just kept going back, and there was no evidence of it.
Yeah.
It was such a shock.
How long did it take from you seeing your GP to you getting your diagnosis?
GP one Friday. The following Friday was my biopsies and mammograms.
Yeah.
And then 2 Fridays later, I got my full diagnosis. In between that, I had an MRI and a CT scan to check for any further spread, which obviously you catastrophize even more in your head.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick, but I did luckily have enough time to process each part.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I don't know whether it's better to kind of go straight in, to find out in a few days and then have, it's a blur anyway. I had this kind of very slow, not slow, but slower than some when it came to finding out the full picture.
And like, as you said that you catastrophized it in your head, did you Googling? I think that's always our downfall, because it's just like, I have stage 4 cancer and there's nothing I can do about it, when that's sometimes not the case.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I think lots of people were like, don't Google. But if you're actively trying to find good stories, I actually think it's healthy. I mean, sometimes, of course, like do whatever. If you're Googling and it's not making you feel better, get off Google.
Yeah.
And obviously, there are some horror stories. And on Reddit, obviously, it is the people that are struggling the most. That it is the people that have had a really bad surgery, that their life has fallen apart, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to actively find good stories, I actually think it's perfectly healthy. And if you, like me, I didn't know anything about breast cancer. I didn't even know the various types. I'm hormone positive, HER2 negative. I didn't have any, it wasn't like, my mum had gone through it and I'd seen her at every single treatment plan. I really, really didn't know about what to expect. So just how long is chemo for breast cancer? I found it actually quite helpful to Google, but I think that's just do what makes you feel less terrible. Yeah.
Do your parents know now?
Yes. Yeah.
How was it telling your parents?
I try and take care of them a bit more. They actually moved from Suffolk to Surrey to be closer to us so we could look after them in their old age. And then, reverse that, because now they're looking after me for the next year. And I secretly put my dad's phone on Find My Friends without telling him, which I feel like is really toxic behavior that a parent would do to a teenager. But I just always want to check up on them. So I was hiding out at my sister-in-law's house, and I could see them walking down the road because I'd asked them to come over to see their kittens. It was all an elaborate lie. I could see them coming up, and that was seeing that little dot, knowing I was about to really upset them, and there's nothing I could do. It was so sad. My mum just burst into tears. My dad just looked awkward and put the kettle on.
Very British.
But the thing is, by that time, I actually had kind of made sense of it myself. So I was being quite positive. I was just like, I'm fine. I'm going to get through it. So I'm glad that they didn't see me on that first Friday that I actually found out I had cancer, because I think they would have been just utterly, they would have seen me at my worst and not my strongest and most positive.
Yeah. I think that's how it is, because you never want to put that stress on your parents more. And it's good that you gave yourself the time to figure it out yourself before introducing, because I've come from a girl family as well.
Yeah.
My mum would literally like, she'd be like, we're going to the doctors right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mum, no, I've already done all that.
Yeah.
So like, it's
Oh,
quite,
bless them. Yeah.
so like, how do they feel about it now? Do you feel like they like think about it like a lot, or do you feel like they're moving with the motions?
Yes, I mean, you know, I keep them updated of every single appointment. So that my mum came with me to the full diagnosis appointment, and she met my plastic surgeon with me.
Yeah.
And I am really lucky. I've got a really good relationship with my parents. I can be very open about it. It is weird talking about my left breast, like so openly to family. Yeah, it's a little bit jarring, but you know, TMI doesn't exist when you've got breast cancer. Like, you know, everyone's seen my knockers. Like, I had to phone the doctors when I came on my period. It just feels really, yeah. There's no secrets now. Yeah, so they have been great, and they have been with me like pretty much every single step of the way.
And like the way like we kind of like came to know about your story was from your Instagram and your Substack. So why did you decide to like write about it publicly?
So I'm quite public anyway, like just, you know, from my life, from, you know, being out and about. And I love writing, and I actually haven't had an outlet to write because I haven't actually really had anything to write about. Yeah. You know, I post a lot about my passions on Instagram stories and et cetera. But I haven't really had something or an outlet that I could actually speak about. And I find writing incredibly cathartic.
Yeah.
And also, I knew I kind of wanted to journal, and I knew if I journaled and just like put it in my bedside table, I wouldn't sub-edit it. It would just be an absolute mess. And if I put it, and like at least if I put it on Substack, it was encouraging me to just like check for commas.
Yeah.
And at least then when I look back on it, you know, it won't be a total mess. I probably will have like finessed it a little bit more. And yeah, so the first time I uploaded it, as soon as I press publish, I even like reading them back myself, which is really, really, really narcissistic of me. But I find it, really, just really relaxing to do.
And do you find that like, do you know any of the people that have read it, and do they talk to you about it like publicly?
Yes. So, I mean, lots of obviously my friends read it.
Yeah.
A boy I went to school with just like came across it. He doesn't follow me on Instagram or anything.
Yeah.
He just came across it on the Substack app, and I got this really nice message. In fact, I've got lots of nice messages from people, family, friends, people in my past, which has also been really, really, really lovely. But yeah, no, I've had some like really, really sweet comments as well. And also, I didn't originally have this, you know, a breast cancer story of someone in my immediate family.
Yeah.
But the more people you tell your story to, the more you get this. It happened to my aunt, it happened to my mum, it happened to my sister, it happened to my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
They're out the other side, and I can't wait to be that story. And, you know, in a few months, I'll be looking back at those posts, and it will be, you know, story about my recovery party. So yeah, hopefully, there'll be. It's a kind of like a work in progress. It's chapter 1 right now, but at the end it will be like the happy ending.
It seems like it's like still really like quite hopeful at the moment. Like a recovery party. Like I've never heard like people do that thing.
Well, I love parties, and yeah, I'm.
Do you have a theme in mind?
Well, everyone's got to wear pink, obviously,
right.
And depending on the location, I want to kind of do a boob pinata so everyone can whack it, and encourage everyone, you know, at the party to check their breasts because especially after a few glasses of wine, maybe. But yeah, honestly, you know, I haven't had like an engagement party or a wedding or you know, a big birthday recently, so it's an excuse for a party, a very good excuse for a party, actually.
And you mentioned before that like you're in talks with a plastic surgeon. Where does that come into? Because I guess you don't really think plastic surgery and breast cancer.
Yes, yeah. I mean, so firstly, the NHS are, you know, the most, like, I cannot believe just, you know, everything I'm getting. I'm going through egg freezing right now. But also, you know, it could, surely it's just the NHS's responsibility to rid me of cancer.
Yeah.
But they take great care in making sure that you're happy with your outcome. So what I'm having done is a mastectomy on the affected breast, which is the left one. I know everyone's watching is going to look at the breast now. Because whenever I tell people I've got breast cancer, their eyes just flicker really quickly, and I'm like, and I wait for it. So So what I'm having is the entire breast taken out, tumor and all. And the tumor is only 18 millimeters, but I think there's like areas of calcification around it.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what I've been told. I don't know why I'm acting like I gave myself this diagnosis. And I had some options for reconstruction, which were, which was a lumpectomy and then a breast reduction to match up, or a lumpectomy and then an implant put in following chemotherapy.
Yeah.
Which both of those, I didn't really like the idea of an implant. So I'm going down the full mastectomy route. And they are reconstructing with fat from my stomach, which is, I didn't even know that they could do that. So it's a big operation. And and I think, you do meet your plastic surgeon beforehand. I think they take a good look at you. They, she took some measurements, and she was the most remarkable woman like I've ever met in my life. Mum and I left the appointment just completely speechless. She gives off that, when authors describe a good person in a book, and like they make them like pretty with a nice smile and softly spoken. She's like all of those things.
Oh, great.
And God bless our NHS, because she's taking care of me. So it's going to be a big surgery. But I get a tummy tuck. I get a free tummy tuck out of it, which is also, it's very, very, very weird to think. But yeah.
Is there a lot of like options? Like they give you like quite a lot of choice, like when it comes to like the decisions you make around your body?
Yes. Yeah. And because obviously it is, for breast cancer, it is quite an aesthetic decision.
Yeah.
It's not like an organ where it's more... what they're going to do, like how, like what your long-term prognosis is going to be, like the medication you're going to be on. It is something that's quite visual. And, part of the recovery of breast cancer is about, not hating your body.
Yeah.
So they're very focused on the aesthetics. And, perhaps it is slightly different because I'm so much younger. I haven't breastfed. I haven't, bit TMI, but it's fine. Haven't found like a long-term partner. I think it is really, really important that I'm still happy with myself.
Yeah.
Which they have a big focus on.
Yeah, it's quite good. Do they like talk to you about like the mental side of it? Like, do they offer any like mental health support like while you're going through this?
Yeah, so the NHS, I have got my own breast cancer nurse number that I can ring at any point, just to talk about my diagnosis, and they can give me advice. There are numbers that you can call. They really look after you. Couldn't be luckier to be under the watch of our wonderful NHS. Like, just could not be any luckier. But then again, I think a lot of the support groups are great, but I think it can be quite lonely when you're so young, because I did go to the plastic surgery seminar in person where it was all the people that were having this reconstruction. And I did go to try and meet people, and everyone was lovely, but everyone was 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
And it did once again make me feel like I do stick out. But I think there are some groups for younger girls as well that I will try and look into. But that being said, being so open about it on social media, lots and lots of people have given me the numbers of like someone that they went through. Lots of people have given me the numbers of someone they know that's gone through it. Sometimes at a similar age. So I found that actually a lot more helpful than those kind of more organized groups.
Yeah. It's quite unique to go through it, like being so young. So
yeah,
it's like...
often they're older, so they've had children, so they opt for a double mastectomy because it doesn't matter about breastfeeding.
Yeah.
But there are lots more decisions that I have to make. Just like if you're older and you've been through menopause, your drugs will be slightly different. Whereas my like long term is, obviously not being put through total menopause right now. So talking to younger people is definitely better.
Yeah, and I hope it's okay for me to ask, like, do you want kids in the future?
Yes, I do. So that was something that, once again, I was catastrophizing in my head. However, the NHS, once again, just incredible. They offer egg freezing for all girls that are facing chemotherapy.
Okay.
1 round, which is, once again, just like the care that the care that they give people going through this to mitigate anything that could, affect their mental health. So yeah, so currently I'm going through egg freezing.
What's that like?
Yeah, I'm on quite a few injections. I've got another scan on Friday. The egg retrieval will be next week. But yeah, it just gives you an extra safety net. Once again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know exactly the effect that chemotherapy has on fertility. And I think there are drugs to help younger women. I think that there are drugs that put your ovaries to sleep. So they do everything they can, but it's a pretty binary thing. You can, if you lose it, it won't come back. So this is an extra safety net. So yeah, that's the treatment I'm actually currently going through right now.
Yeah, so sometimes it seems like, from what you're saying, it seems like it's not just thinking about like dealing with the breast cancer and like how your relationship with your breast. It's like, okay, fertility, it's like my life past this, and it's like family relationships. So it seems like it's much more than just like, do you feel like that you sometimes don't even like think about the cancer and you're thinking about everything else?
I'm a nail on head. Yes. Yeah. So people often ask me like how I am. And if I've just had a really good appointment about egg freezing and I've been told everything's in good shape, I'm obviously doing really, really well. If I've suddenly thought about the way my body's going to change, I'm obviously doing badly. If I've had a good day, people have checked in, it is very, very up and down. I think, the relationship with the body is really something that I'm struggling with the most, because I wrote about it in my most recent Substack. The thing I'm dreading the most, quite intimate, is waking up in the morning just before surgery and like having that final shower and like seeing myself as it is for the last time. Because obviously, bodies change, you put on weight, you lose weight, but fundamentally, like everything is pretty much the same. And mine is, I'm going to change so much. I'm going to have 2 huge scars. I'm going to have a flatter stomach, and I'm going to have this reconstructed breast. I'll lose sensation. And the way I put it in my Substack is, it's like, when you call it quits on a relationship because it's like unhealthy for both of you, but you still have feelings. So you end a relationship with feelings there because you've got to do it like for practical reasons, either they're moving away or it's just not working out. It feels like that. Like, I know I've got to have this operation for practical reasons. It's going to save my life, but I don't want it. I want my current body, which is really, really hard to think. And I'm really going to miss the way I look right now. But it'll save my life.
I think that's like a lot of times, like women and girls, they go through like such like harsh feelings about their body, and like to know that there's something that's gonna happen that's not like entirely in your control, but it's for a good like reason. You're kind of just like, oh, like would I have made that like decision without this happening and stuff like that?
Yes, exactly. But then like, at the end of the day, like in 30 years time, my body's also going to look different. Whether or not I had cancer or not, it would all be saggier and more freckles and maybe some other scars. It's just that this is a very quick, sudden change.
I think I saw on a program, a doctor said a lump, it will be noticeable, like if you know what to look for. But like some people just don't. They think, oh, like it's this, and it's like a swollen gland or something.
Yes, yeah. It's noticeable if it looks different to the rest. If it looks different to the last time you checked your body, but if you're not checking, you don't know what's what's a lump, what's a cyst, what like how long it's been there.
Maybe cancer education is what they need to be teaching in schools.
I mean, I'm calling it cancer education because it is. One in 2 people get cancer, I think, in the UK.
Is it that high?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like, this is what happens when you go on Google holes, when you find out you've got cancer and then you find out you're not special, which is kind of even more devastating.
I have to say, like, I really love your hair. And with chemo, people sometimes lose their hair. Are you like, what's your progress?
So I have been speaking to a lot of people that are going through it or have been through it. Once again, this is where social media, there are so many dark sides of social media, but social media has been a really powerful tool in educating the world on human rights issues, but also connecting people with people that you wouldn't have been connected to before. And I've been talking to a 29-year-old PR, my friend's sister-in-law, and they've kept their hair and they've given me some really good tips. So firstly, cut it short. It minimizes the weight. So if there is any breakage, it's less likely to fall out if there's not as much weight pulling it out. And then also when you're brushing it, I think if your hair has started to shed, when you brush it and it gets knotted, more falls out. So yeah, going short. So there's a very small chance that I might not need chemotherapy if once they test the tumour, they can check for its risk of reoccurrence. And if the risk is so low, you're often not given it.
Yeah.
Or you're given the option to. However, because mine is spread to the lymph nodes, it's spread to at least one that's been biopsied, but there are more that's suspicious. Any lymph node spread pretty much automatically means chemotherapy because the cells have got there, so they could be swimming elsewhere in the body.
Yeah.
What I was told is the surgery is to get rid of the cancer, the chemotherapy is to mop it up. So because there is the spread, that does indicate the chemotherapy, and because I'm young, the treatment is really focused on cure, never have it come back.
Yeah.
The treatment does look different if you're a 73-year-old woman. So there is a chance that chemotherapy might not happen, but I cannot, although I'm being very hopeful and very positive,
Yeah.
I've already
Accepted it.
Exactly. So I don't want to then have to reprocess it all over again.
Yeah.
Because reprocessing is rubbish. In fact, the days after I found out I had cancer, I would always say advice to anyone, it is worse in the morning. It is like 100 times worse in the morning because you wake up and you remember that you've got cancer and suddenly it's like you find out all over again. And then by the evening, you've accepted it, you go to sleep, and now it's just part of me. I wake up and I go to sleep and I'm the girl with cancer.
As we're coming to a close, we like to end with like a call to action. What can people do? So do you have like any advice for young women like yourself that are going through breast cancer in general, or like something you wish like your younger self would have known?
I'm looking forward to being the happy story at the end when someone finds out they have cancer and someone says to them, my friend's friend, or like a girl I used to work with, she had cancer. You know, it was dreadful. She was worried about her surgery, but she's out on the other side. Yeah. So I really want to be that happy story. Yeah. And I know that every story has a happy ending. So if you're going through it now, there will be a happy ending. Like whether you wish for it or whether you just know it, it will have a happy ending. And I want everyone to tell their friend that they heard of a 33-year-old that got cancer, and that 33-year-old has spoken to a 29-year-old that got cancer. So every single person in that age group to check their breasts right now. And this is going on social media, right? So everyone's like watching it in bed. So everyone can check right now. Like, unless you're on the commute, unless you're commuting, don't check. But if you're in bed, check right now.
Thank you so much for talking to me and being like really honest about your experience. I think as a 25-year-old, like knowing that it's like good stories like yours like make me feel like much more optimistic about women's health.
Oh, thank you.
Don't want to make you cry.
Oh, thank you. You're
thank
so
you
sweet.
so much. And yeah.
Then my little boobie.
Oh yeah, let's show mine is just a pink bra.
The thing is, I made mine all the same size and shape, and the whole point is that boobs are not symmetrical and they're not all the same size. So this is the wrong message. And I should have done some without nipples because some people do lose their nipples during mastectomy. So this is not a good representation.
This is a Barbie replica.
Yes.
A Barbie edition.
Yeah, exactly, where everything is perfect. But,
all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.